team here with PCSN. So today I'm going to talk about the IT industry, specifically IT infrastructure industry, and how it's changing. The IT industry as a whole, it's always reinventing itself. We're always on a learning curve. Things change, almost on a daily basis. Especially now with cloud technologies, it's just a much faster paced type of business. And now what we're seeing recently that started to happen is our world is more and more software driven world, and we have to kind of merge the infrastructure side, the networking, the hardware, all those things with the software development side of things. And both these worlds are kind of coming together. And then, of course, you throw in the security side of things, which is a whole another ball game. Things can get pretty complex. Now, you may have heard of something called DevOps. Basically, it's the developer side, the development, the dev, is merging in with the operations side. And when I say operations side, that's people who are, for example, spinning up the server, setting up networking, all the operational stuff. And that's what the DevOps is. Now, why are we talking about DevOps now, where just a year ago or a couple of years ago, nobody had even heard of the term. Actually, I think the term wasn't even coined yet. More and more IT companies are looking to start thinking about their business as DevOps and not just ops, or not just dev. It's DevOps, because it allows any IT company out there to accelerate time to market, which is important. So not just that, but we can now adapt to market and competition better and faster. Of course, along with adapting, we also maintain stability and reliability of systems. And I'll dig in a little bit. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but I'll dig in a little bit. Also, of course, improve time to recovery. Now, how it's really transforming us is, in the past, we used to, like years ago, we used to just, set up hardware. There was really no dev involved. The app dev side was totally different. The two sides didn't even talk to each other. Now, what we're getting into is the infrastructure, the ops is kind of merging in with dev. So what we do is we have split roles where we have more accountability, more reliability, and overall stability of systems. And it also, the side benefit to that is it makes us more agile. We are able to compete better. And I'll give you an example. What we did is that we, in the past, even for our cloud solutions, we would have our infrastructure guys design the solution for the cloud and then implement it. Our big thing was that if we are going to develop something in the cloud, we're not going to create it via the graphic interface, via the GUI. We are always going to create a script to set up everything in the cloud. And the reason why we decided to do that was because once we create a script, we can use that script over and over for different clients. All we have to do is provide the script a few variables and just run it. Something that takes somebody working in the GUI, maybe 30, 40 minutes, it takes a few seconds for the script to run and just, create stuff for us. The dev side came into it with keeping these scripts in our repositories, right? So historically, when we first started doing this, we weren't keeping them in a repository. We were just keeping it in a central place, which was, of course, backed up and all that. But the problem with that is there was no check-in, check-out control. Anybody could take a script and make changes to it, and then nobody really knew better. And if a script broke, somebody would fix it, but nobody knew. So there was no really versioning, check in, check out, those kind of things. And the way we've transformed that is our infrastructure guys will create the scripts, our design team will design the system, but none of these teams will do the actual deployment. So we have a dedicated role now for deployments. That makes sure that our scripts are created per our standards, they work, and that anybody can run the script, because the person who is doing the deployment is not an infrastructure guy. He's more on the development side of things. So now what we do is we have our repository set appropriately. A while back, not even a year ago, the infrastructure side never even used to think about repositories because they were working with infrastructure. Repositories were specifically for software developers, where they keep the source code in there, and there were check-in, check-out controls and all of that. But now these two worlds are merging, and the next big change that we're going to bring to our business is going to be to bring in the security guys as well, so that all these teams work hand in hand, support each other, as opposed to one team doing something and then another team doing something else. And that's why you may have heard of us making some big drastic changes when it comes to our app dev department, because the world has changed. We can't do with just the traditional developer anymore. It has to be a DevOps guy now. And we're seeing this in everything. I mean, everything is becoming software driven. Your TVs are software driven, right? Your vehicles are software driven. Even I'm not talking about electric vehicles. I'm talking about even your traditional ICE engine cars, internal combustion engine cars. They're really software driven. Everything is software. And the reason why we like that and it's good is because it's reliable, it's easy to troubleshoot, and it is easier to tune, because it's much better to be able to adjust something in software rather than have to change a piece of hardware. Over-the-air updates are always great, and that's what you can do with software. Like if you have a switch, a network switch, and it's all within software, you can change the personality of that switch very easily. But if it's a hardware, let's say unmanaged switch, and now you need a managed switch, and you have to swap it out. There's no other option. The world is really changing when it comes to IT, and pretty much every IT company has to reinvent itself. Development, ops, security, everything is kind of coming together. And companies that don't implement these new practices, this new way of thinking, are going to be left behind. So hopefully that explains the changes that you've kind of seen that have been going on. I know some customers have kind of reached out and talked to us about that, or somebody may have heard about the term DevOps, and I hear that people ask me, hey man, what are you doing with DevOps? We're doing a lot. We're implementing, we're changing how we do things to accommodate for that, so that we can get to market faster. Until next time, everybody, have a great day and be safe out there.